This will be part 2 of the Delage trunk lid mounting area. I'm going to have to replace the wood, so this will be about that. There's a cross member underneath this sheet metal here to support the roof. Then there's this rotted out cross member that goes across the bottom here. It's all curved to match. And then we've got our corners in wood too that we have to fabricate. Plus, in between that, there's center brackets that go under the hinge mounts here that have to all be attached to the cross members to support them all together. This cross member is very tricky to make. It's shaped to match the sheet metal. So from underneath, as you can see lengthwise, it's got a curve all the way along. It has angles to attach the metal lips, a trough that has to be measured, another angle, and an angle here, but it also curves inward this way between the upper hinges of the car. And it has an angle down here on this side here. So the thing is a series of curves and angles throughout. So it's going to be very tricky to make. And it has to be 100% accurate or the sheet metal and the lid won't fit. Then the corner pieces also have to be made. They're also very angled, numerous angles, and it's flat on top so the center one can come on top and be screwed to it. And here's the left side, same thing. Very elaborate pieces. So then I made a new center piece. This has to lap over the corners and then be screwed together. Everything have all the angles here, the trough. I've attached the other corner piece I've made onto it to give you an idea how it has to work. And that then the sheet metal goes over top and gets nailed to it. I fit this to the car and then make sure before I screw it that everything's tight and it all matches the sheet metal. This is the other side here. I have to take it off or I can't take it in and out. And that goes, you see, underneath here to fit. And that's going to hold all the sheet metal on the back by the trunk hinges. Now I've installed the wood. It sits correct into all the curves. Down in here, it's perfectly in with this way. We've matched all the angles and curves, and also it curves inward this way to match the trunk lid. All that was done in the wood and it had to be done accurately, and now that I have that on, I realize that this has brought this much more in shape. It was more up because it wasn't supported, and the curves are better now too, so that should help the trunk lid fit. Later, this metal panel will go over top and get re-nailed underneath and into the upper lip. Now that I have the shape, I can draw out this upper lip, and I'm going to have to replace the lip as well later on another episode. Then I fabricated new wood here to the angles, and it matches the curve of where the hinges go down, and that connects the cross member under the roof to the cross member by the trunk mounting. I also made a steel reinforcement bracket here to go over top so we can screw it all down together, and then I'll glue it all together as well. And that'll make it really rigid. And then your hinge mounts, the bolts for the hinges go through the steel and the wood. I made new steel brackets here to support the rear cross member to the front and to hold the wood where the hinges go through, and the hinges will bolt down through that steel plate and the wood, and it should be pretty solid to hold that 150-pound hood. Under that, we put this plate steel hoop all the way around that supports the wood on top of that, and that gets drilled into the wood. Then we're going to put our metal back over, and hopefully this all fits. I'll do a trial fit first of the trunk lid. Then all the wood has to come out in order to weld this lip in. Also, these side panels here have wood behind it, so we can't put the wood in. I have to weld that in too, and that's going to hold the fenders. I can't put that in until I'm sure the trunk lid fits up in here, and I can't have that wood in because it tucks down right into where I'm welding here. Please like and follow. Stay tuned for part 3. Will the trunk lid fit? I sure as hell hope so.